Hey guys, this is Kyle with K2 Media, doing a little bit of a different review out of our norm today. We're normally reviewing some sort of DJ equipment or lighting or something like that, but this is another small part of what we do. This would fall under the K2 Media and more aspect, which is we do some commercial landscaping, I guess. We don't really do residential lots, but we have some property that's not too far from here. It's large acreage that me and my buddy Jeremy cut. Anyway, we cut it kind of on like a bi-monthly basis. So we were using some smaller equipment before, but I just got this. So I want to do a quick review on it, and I didn't see a lot of other reviews on the Kubota 227 series on YouTube. So I just cut my yard with it, and going to share a few thoughts, and we'll go from there. So first of all, this is the Kubota 227. It's their 2 series, which is commercial. Their 1 series, I believe, which is the Commander, if I'm not mistaken, is their residential line. This is a step up from that. It's their commercial, but it's not their higher end, which is the 3 series. So that's what the 2 in the 227 stands for, and then the 27 is the horsepower of the motor. It's got a Kubota 27 horse motor. It's Kubota made. So wanted to show some of the aspects that this mower will allow. This will be kind of a mid-level review, but I'm not real experienced on it, so I don't want you to think that that everything's hunky-dory. Didn't have any problems just cutting it and cut my yard, but everything seemed to be pretty good, at least on that. Now, for some of this, the motor has to be running, and obviously you're not going to be able to hear me when I'm talking. So I'll just kind of review some of it versus actually showing you while I'm talking, and then afterwards I'll show you once the motor is running. It's got park and brake as pretty much almost every single riding mower, or in this case a 0-turn has. This one has a hydraulic lift for the deck. Which is convenient. I think most of the commercial series have that. If you're going up over a curb, or if you're going over, whatever sort of obstacle may be in your way, you don't have to sit there and lift up the gate, with some sort of handle. You step on that little knob right there, it lifts it up hydraulically. As soon as you let go of the knob, it goes back to where your setting was. Now, for transport, it's got the lock lever. So, when I'm transporting it in my trailer, I make sure to have that locked so that the deck there isn't unnecessary weight on the hydraulics. It's locked in, I guess, with some sort of mechanical lever. It's got a range of about 1 inch to up to 5 inches in terms of cut height. Now, I just mowed my yard on 2.5. Probably, if you're cutting in St. Augustine, you're going to want to cut a little bit higher than that, probably like a 3 or something like that, but I've got mixed grass and a lot of bahia, so I make sure to cut it a little bit lower so that we get up under those chutes. Of course, right now it would be in neutral. To engage, you bring the handles in and then move adequately, just like any other 0-turn. It does have a cup holder, for water or whatever your beverage of choice is while you're mowing. It's got about a 7-gallon fuel tank. When I bought it, obviously it was pretty much empty. I took it up to the gas station. I put ethanol-free gas in it. It was just about exactly 7 gallons. I think it was like 6.8, but there was a little bit of gas that was already in there. Other than that, I'm going to show you some of the other features up close. It does have a fuel gauge, which is nice, versus just some sort of eyeball test. It's got a physical gauge. Of course, it's got the throttle, the choke, and the blading gauge over here, and the hours meter. This one is not a digital hours meter. This one is a rolling analog meter. That's fine. I don't really need anything digital on it. It's got a 6-inch deep deck, if you can kind of see that down there, and what that means is it's 6 inches deep. So that really it's got more room for the grass and whatever it is that you're mowing to get mulched up and to recirculate through there. It avoids it being caked up in there as well. It's got the anti-scalp wheels on it, which are pretty convenient. Now, and I'm going to show you in just a minute, In my yard, there is, we're on a septic tank, and so there is a mound, and I kind of ran a test. It did not scalp it on any of the parts. I'll get up a little bit closer on that in a minute. So hopefully you were able to see there that I was able to raise and lower the gate or the deck with just my foot with the hydraulic lift. I'm pretty happy with the mower. I'm going to get up a little bit closer to show you where you know, some of the inclines and some of the angles around the septic tank where it did a pretty good job. And I'll also get a little bit up closer on the actual mower. All right, here's a little bit of a closer look at the gauge panel or instrument panel over here and your levers. The yellow is the throttle or the blading gauge. Obviously it's just on or off. And the red is the throttle. Then there's the knob for the choke and the hours meter. You can also, let me see if I can come to the other side here. You can also see the fuel gauge there. You see that very well. So it is a fuel gauge versus, you know, just using your eyes. Now, on the deck itself, open this up really quick. There is, let me see if you can actually see up in there. I'm not sure if you can. It's similar to the drive shaft on your car. It's a steel drive shaft that you know, basically is the transmission from the blade or from the motor to the deck. And then that box right there is basically the gearbox, you know, to translate the kinetic energy. I guess I don't want to sound like I know what I'm talking about here too much, but anyway, pretty happy with it so far. Let me see if I can. The seat does slide and adjust. I'm tall, so I've got it all the way back, but it can come forward, you know, if needed. Here's a shot inside the under the hood. It is a rear-mounted engine. Again, it's the Kubota 27 horse. You see that? I'll come around to the other side. Easy access fuel or oil filter down there. And then the seat does lean forward. It weighs a little too much for me to be able to do while I'm holding the camera. Battery compartment down here on the side, which is pretty easy to get to when you lift up the seat. So this is the area I was talking about with where there's a pretty good incline. I don't know if it translates very well on the camera, but it did a pretty good job. I went up and down it from multiple angles. Didn't really scalp anything. Definitely don't have the yard of the month here, but it did a pretty good job. Pretty happy with how it cut. And then for a little bit of a better view of my yard, did a good job. I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty happy.